here in game number 2. They get rid of the Beastmaster. They get rid of the Terrorblade. All right. All right. So that's 2. That's 2.
Show me something new.
Will they get the Marana?
And Nyx is the big one too.
Oh,
to me.
Did they ban like Clash Nyx first? I remember it was an Int hero and Nyx, but I don't remember which hero.
That sounds about right.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So you take Nyx, and now that opens up to like, don't pick a hero that's bad versus Batrider, because we've seen quite a few teams today go with the Nyx into Batrider pick. Undying, I mean, good hero.
Undying was banned.
Yeah. I mean,
does that scare you from taking Bat, though? I don't think so. Not the same way Nyx does.
Not necessarily, but you could also just say, like, you know, well, they also can't pick Bat, and Bat's not, like, busted versus Undying 100%. Like, I could think of something that, like, counters it, like, more specifically, like a Nature's Prophet or something if I really wanted that, but I can probably wait till after with the Bat, because I'm not scared of them taking it, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if they ban it, they ban it, whatever.
I guess Bat was banned that game, but do you really think I didn't watch that many games after the nerfs to Batrider? Like, how good is actually Batrider after the? Because I just seen a lot of people spam just like stacking ashes and farming with it. But besides that, is he still like that good of a hero?
He has certain qualifications that have to be met. I think he needs to. You need to have a mid player that is good at it and wants to play it, I think. And you probably still want someone who's like maybe more of an old school offlaner who's played the hero a lot. I don't know if it's like he hasn't been that popular in comparison over the past like 2 years versus like from like 7 to like 2 years ago sort of gap where it was like literally 95% of games at a bat or whatever. So
true.
I think those kind of players probably still want to go back for the bat, but it is a strategy hero at this point. You can't just like pick him in a vacuum. You know?
Yeah, I think I would agree. They got the Wraith King into Nyx. You can buy the Shard now, but they also nerfed the mana cost on Reincarnation. I wonder how much that will come into play.
5 seconds remaining.
What a hero, this Wraith King guy.
Yeah.
He is pretty good.
Like crazy. Yeah, variety of builds. The skeletons as annoying as ever. This new crit. I mean, Trent, you and I spent a lot of time arguing about crits and the nature of RNG and rolling dice. And now that Wraith King has gone from a gambler in his crits to having a fix, he's like an inside trader now when it comes to these crits. It's insane. I mean, honestly, you can min-max that thing so much. It's almost like a better version of Slardar because it just ticks down instead of requiring you to hit something. You know, you can...
Yeah, it's the chaos.
You have a lot of options. Yeah.
It's so good in lane. Like, you just secure range creeps. It's really good. But I wonder if they're going to play this Mars as a mid-hero again, or if Incubus wants to play like an offlaner. I guess like Nyx Mars seems like a decent offlane. You have the Impale into Spear, into damage.
I'm also wondering what they're going to ban. The PL, I think, is a good one. The Puck, maybe? I'm actually just looking through like heroes that have been doing very well versus Wraith King in pubs
Wraith King?
Overall, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, PL is an obvious one, right? Like
I think Monkey King is pretty good versus Wraith King.
Yes.
Because you get the Wukong's duration.
I saw that in the qualifiers a lot. Anything where you can set up after he comes back to life. Sometimes I think Bloodseeker can do that. It's weird because historically Wraith King is supposed to be good against Bloodseeker. You rupture him once, then he comes back. But Bloodright, you can get some immediate damage and a silence on the Wraith King. And if you ever get Aghanim's, of course, you have multiple ruptures. So anybody like that. And the Wukong's command is just another one.
Yeah, I also think you have a 5 Undying, so I think Puck being just a good hero right now is a worthy ban because that's one of your supports, useless versus a Puck.
True.
Yep. Puck's just in a good spot right now, too.
Oh, plus they had Undying. Man, that would have been like the greatest PL pick of all time. Undying and Wraith King.
Yeah.
Especially when it's PL and Nyx. That's a lot of mana burn to the point that it's a little overwhelming.
All right, well, it is time now. where they have to choose something. What was the keys to success last game for them? Pretty much just having good objective taking.
Yeah.
And part of that isn't just like towers, obviously. It means like being able to create good team fights and then move into like the Roche pit and stuff like that too. So right now they could either go for a 4 or an offlaner, most likely, I would think.
Yeah. What about that offlane Lycan we see sometimes? Is that a possibility here? Can they pick Lycan? Like mid Lycan or offlane Lycan?
Mid, maybe, yeah. Probably not yet if they're going to, but it would be interesting to see that come up. Maybe not versus Mars too, though, because that could be like a pretty good matchup to like send mid.
10 seconds remaining.
Good at stalling things out. We did see the Lycan go both ways again in the qualifiers. In the best of ones, we saw some stomps, but we also saw a few of those games where they clear out all the outer structures, they get Roche, they can't quite go high ground, and then the game gets really interesting. So,
what about that Naga we talked about? Is Naga a possibility here versus Wraith King, or is the diffusal blade timing too slow now that you can just buy the shard as Wraith King?
And is Anti-Mage too bad at this point? I mean, the hero's been memed on a little bit, but I don't know.
I mean, Naga has good options versus Tombstone also. So
I saw
that might add a little extra for her.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw it in a couple of games today versus Wraith King, and I was like, okay, all right, he still got it. You know, it's still one thing he can do all right. Not necessarily a winning matchup.
Anti-Mage.
Back for the Void Spirit. Saw this a number of times. A little bit flexible, probably mid, but could definitely be in that off lane.
Could be 4 too. I've seen
okay.
A couple of people go for it.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't remember if we saw Hokori do that.
5 seconds.
They're just giving themselves a lot of options by leaving it there. It's a very strong hero right now, so if you're not going to have the...
do you like him on the 4, Trent? Do you give that the Trent Pack seal of approval?
No, I think there's a lot of good 4s. There's good 4s right now, so I don't think that he really should be picked this early if that's what you want.
Gotcha.
But 3 or mid, I think he's great at.
Yeah,
but like you are picking Void Spirit into Nyx, right? It's so easy for him to carapace your stuff invisible. I wonder if they will give this like mid priority against the Nyx.
Yeah, and they finally get the Mars Phoenix too, which was kind of wondering the whole last draft, is that actually going to come out? And there it is.
Look at that close up, the Spartan god himself next to the Phoenix. Undying Wraith King. At least they're keeping with the lore here. That's one thing I really like about this drafting screen that we've got here. The heroes deep in the Amazon. The aesthetics, when they draft according to color and lore, we really get to feel those vibes to a stronger degree. The Undying and the Wraith King. The Undead strat. I love it.
Look at Phoenix's shadow. What is this production value? This is amazing.
I know. There's 3D lighting, Trent. This
Where
isn't
did this
augmented
technology
reality.
come from?
This is just reality, man. You see, I think the if you look at the angles as well, it lines up exactly with the position of the sun in Brazil right now.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
So, if we had another series today, you would see the sun setting in the background. But unfortunately, we'll have to leave you waiting for more because this is the only series.
I can't tell if you're serious or not.
You'll have to wait and see there, bud.
I'm generally not sure. Well, we're back into the Mirana game here.
Good against Phoenix, right? That's one of the go-tos.
Yeah. True.
I'm not sure about the Mirana, honestly.
It is in here. It's like, yes, it's very good versus Phoenix. There's no doubt. And I guess it's kind of hard for Mars to catch because you get like a little bit of a grace period for like the leap and stuff. If you see him,
it's
like
a core Mirana, I can see it.
Yes, that feels better to me too. And there's the Monkey King. I think
feels so justified. We talked about this in game 1. The Mars, the Monkey King, the Phoenix. This was the Holy Trinity, Trent.
This is like 4 very, very good heroes on this patch.
And especially against Wraith King. I think he just struggles so much to deal with Monkey King. And then you have all this cover for the Monkey King on top of it. You're not all in on the Monkey King ult. You've got Nyx to scout things out and set it up. You've got Mars and Phoenix to follow up, initiate fights, let the Monkey follow up.
Tell you what, the Undying player is drafting. That's for sure. Banning Gyro?
Well, now, to be fair, we did see Gyro a number of times in the qualifiers, and he really synergizes with this triple bubble. It's like the quad bubble. You put the call down on top of it. But, whew, she's explosive.
I mean, they can pretty much pick whatever they want for Incubus. They have everything covered. Maybe they think their worst stat is like taking Roche/towers, but they're not terrible at it, but theoretically, they could have a little bit more single target focus with their last hero.
They ban a lot of mobility here. I'm assuming this Mars is actually all right. Wild guess. I think this is mid Mars, offlane Phoenix, and they're gonna pick a 4 or 5 for Incubus because they're picking so much mobility that I like. They banned the Sand King and the Quap. Oh, there you go. The anti-mage you talked about.
I think they banned the Sand King.
That's mid Monkey King maybe then.
Yeah, I think they banned the Sand King too, though, because like that Sand King Mirana combo is that helped a lot, you know. And then they just throw the Void Spirit.
Anybody want some hot action on this Monkey King's item build? I'll bet you $100 he goes Maelstrom BKB Aghanims, no matter what. no matter what they pick here, these last 2 heroes, no matter what lane he's in, I'll bet you $100 he's going that build.
You seem a little upset by it, Zayari.
We saw it literally every game in the qualifiers.
I'm trying to think if there's some other hero. What if they pick Medusa so he goes Diffusal? Aha!
Nope, the Maelstrom's still better, Trent. You got to be able to split push. You got to leave your options open. I don't know. I think there's some games where the Aghanims first is definitively better, and we have not seen that build much. So I'm half joking and half trying to look like a god when he does do that exact build.
Fairly hard though. Didn't it delay the timer a little bit?
What
are we talking about? The Monkey King eggs.
Oh, the egg.
Oh, I think they did a little bit.
I think
I don't know. 0.
Yeah, the spawn interval went
4.
Yeah, it went from 3.5 to 4, which percentage-wise is a pretty big.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big. A lot of push now, though. They pick up this Nature's Prophet, so still some flexibility with these lanes. I like that a lot.
That's someone who you want to lane versus the Undying in a lot of situations, too.
Yes. So he's got no good option against the Treants.
And that led some credence to the Monkey mid versus the Void Spirit. So, and then they could just like do whatever they want on the like they can just put the Mars and the Nature's Prophet in either side lane. They can put the Mars mid. They can just do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Void Spirit is sad because he doesn't want to lane versus Monkey King middle.
Ooh.
Okay, great versus
who wants
Monkey.
To lane versus this.
That's the break.
All right,
so
it's
it is a
Benny
Monkey King. Yeah.
All right, mid Mars.
And it looks like off lane Viper. That's Vitali that picks it up, and a mid Void Spirit for Nier. Okay.
I think you send the Monkey King middle, right?
Against Void Spirit, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just want to dodge the Viper.
Yeah, because
I don't know if
Mars is
Hokori's
going to have a
switch it up.
terrible game.
Have we ever seen Vitali go mid before? I don't think this is a curveball. I think this is just a straight up 3 Viper.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. Well, so what do we like here, boys? Are we confident in Incubus in their triple bubble Nature's Prophet strat?
Yes.
I
think it was pretty good.
I feel like this time Hokori has way less of like a clear advantage with their draft. It doesn't feel like one team just fights, the other does everything. So I would say, I'm not sure who has the advantage, but I would say this is a closer game for sure.
Okay. Trent, you got a hard commitment here?
Yeah, I think that Incubus has a better draft. I see like the level 6 coming up for Mini and making plays with the Monkey King. The heroes look pretty good. I mean, Jupiter played really well last game in the Sand King. Now he's on that Nature's Prophet. So I'm expecting big things from those like first couple TPs to try and like overwhelm a lane. And we might find that Lumiere falls a little bit too far behind.
Lumiere is going to have to play a hell of a game to make this one work. I think it's going to be very hard for the Wraith King in particular. But let's hand it to our casters here. We've got a Gary. We've got a Theban. Gentlemen, how are we feeling for game number 2 of our DPC season? The first of many, am I right?
Yeah, I'm super excited for sure. I mean, after game one with a rapier, who couldn't be excited for the South American Dota? Let's get ourselves underway, shall we? Thanks, boys, on the panel. Game two's here. Incubus up against Hokori and Theban. A bit of a swap around in the drafts. This time it's Incubus with the circle strats. Lots of big team fight ultis for them.
Yep, and I'm digging their draft this time around. You know, you got this nice synergy on all the lanes. Nyx with the NP, the Phoenix Monkey. Not the best partner for Monkey, but it's good enough since Monkey's laning is really strong. What I don't really like in this game, though, Gary, is his Viper offlane.
Hey, what's up with that?
Well, you got this Mirana, right? You pick this position for Mirana. Now, it's very normal to pick a cord that will set up for her arrow. Now you got this Viper. And Viper is also another hero who needs a specific type of position for to be very effective. You need like a Clockwork or a Tusk or a Tiny Earth Spirit. Yeah, these melee stunners who can like lock heroes down and then you can just punish them with the poison attack. So right now in this lane, they're so dependent on the arrows to land in order to apply any sort of pressure. So I think that's kind of a problem. And even later on, the only disable they really have is his Void Spirit. Wraith King is not going to be in the fights. He's just going to be farming until he gets Radiance. So for the first 14-15 minutes, I'm kind of worried for Hokori's draft. Unless this Void Spirit goes absolutely ham in this game.
Yeah, I guess you could also add in there like a Rod of Atos on the Viper. Maybe adds a bit of catch for them, but item timings coming out of laning stage could definitely shift for a position 3 especially. So we'll keep close eye on that Void Spirit.
And if you don't really have pressure on your opponent, it's hard to also hit your item timings because, you know, they might be running at you if you can't really kill them.
So in that bottom lane, kind of excited to see, you know, what kind of nonsense Mirana can do. Trying to snipe out that range creep, which would have allowed, you know, Viper, nice. We've seen plenty of times, poison up with Nether Toxin, push the first wave out, and then Mirana can start dragging waves. But it was, like you say, very nice by Benny just to block it up.
Exactly. Sure. It's so little damage when it's like a short range arrow, so you definitely want to be blocking those and don't let the range die, because just like that he was able to get the deny on the range creep. Now the Viper will not be hitting level 2 right away.
And then the wave meets right in front of the tier 1 tower here, right? Like Benny and Nuage, they're going to try and keep that range creep just out of tower range. Yep, perfectly placed for them. So bottom lane looking decent there for the Radiant, and we can take a peek into the others. As top lane, that Nyx with the Nature's Prophet. That range from Prophet with the Treant's going to be very annoying for Wraith King and Undying to lane into. But you're going to have Decay and Soul Rip spam here to keep Lumiere reasonably happy. Well, that Nyx sets him.
He's got that lifesteal too to sustain himself in the lane. This lane is sort of just like a XP lane, I think, for both of these sides. Maybe Nature's Prophet plus the Nyx can get a kill onto the Undying once he runs out of resources. That could be nice. Oh, Nyx though, getting too close.
Way too close. Lots of damage, and there's the level 2 of Undying.
Yeah, he had no business going to the lane like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was explaining that thinking, you know, Soul Rip's going to be used to sustain the Wraith King, and they'll be able to trade hits, but no, it is straight up kill threat at level 2.
Happens sometimes where you just make a misstep or a miscalculation there. You know, those skeletons come out, they do a lot of damage. You really don't want to be getting too close to a Wraith King. You're low. Yes.
Especially the way that the wave has been pushed and, you know, hitting level 2 as a Dire there. Just allowing them that extra bit of bonus damage. Bottom lane, not looking too great still. Monkey King does have a decent amount of CS, but Viper, obviously free farming away here, but the pressure is definitely mounting as Incubus will be burning through a lot of that early laning stage regen.
Yeah, but I do expect this Viper maybe to die in the upcoming levels, I think, because again, you don't have that stun from the arrow, and Monkey King, as soon as he gets like that Orb of Venom out into his lane, he should be able to chase down the Viper with the Phoenix.
They're going on the Prophet top. Trying to get in on top of Jupiter here. They've got Decay and Soul Rip, but they want to get the Wraith King for one final hit, but the Fairy Fire does keep him alive, but there's the Soul Rip. Finally, Gardic finishes the job. And that top lane has become a bit of a travesty for Incubus.
Yeah, starting off with that Nyx Assassin dying first. This is not how this lane typically goes, for sure.
And then in classic fashion, so much action in the side lanes, we've not really looked in towards mid. Oh, wait a second, because top lane, Gardic's been gone on again. The body blocks are coming. Ma there with the help of the Treants, but a Soul Rip turnaround.
Whoa.
Killing spree for the Undying. Still had a Fairy Fire in his pocket as well.
Yeah, Majestic Fairy Fire. Nick Assassin getting baited once again. Does not have that Spike Carapace. Opted for the mana burn on level 2, so...
Well, bottom lane, Benny. He's ticking down to that poison attack. So it looks like there, Mirana and Viper both pairing up for the kill. And finally, Theban, can we look into mid lane? Like, how is that going for both teams? We've ignored it.
Yeah, it's 22-7 to 17-1 for the Mars. I mean, there's nobody really going to cover the rune top side. That's okay. Bottom is where it spawns, and Void Spirit gets now that Arcane rune. Mars does not get to refill his bottle. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a shift in this lane now, since he does have that Arcane rune available.
Yeah, pumping out those spells, knowing that Nia can refill and potentially go for a dive.
Dire's structures are
He would
Very
love to have...
surprised. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you first, as always.
All right. Thank you.
Your
I was
words
gonna
are
say
way more important than my ones.
Oh no, that is definitely not true. But I was gonna say, like, it's just like game number 1. Incubus just struggling in the laning stage, especially on the side lanes. I did expect these lanes to go much better for the Monkey and the top lane, the NP plus the Nyx. I do think that's a favorable lane for them. Fighting into the Undying Wraith King and dying 3 times like this is just not going to be okay. It's going to definitely put a dent into their plan.
And it's a very conscious decision they've made, right? Like, theoretically, they could have put Monkey against the Wraith King with, Monkey +1 up there. But I guess up against that Undying, it can get a little bit nasty. So they have purposefully put him up against this Viper just to try and get all that safe lane farm, knowing he can farm under tower while Phoenix stacks, pulls, and doesn't leech too much experience away from his safe lane carry.
And the Monkey also not opting for that Orb of Corrosion. Not something that you normally see. I think that's how you actually punish a hero like Viper in these kind of lanes too. So
also not going for the Maelstrom, which we've seen from these South American players. I think the panel was talking about, the Aghanim Scepter. We see a fair amount, we saw a fair amount in Europe, the Battle Fury and stuff like that. But South Americans, we've seen a fair amount of Maelstrom, but this time around looks like Benny wants to be cleaving through creeps.
it's become a very popular item. Maelstrom on Monkey, Troll Warlord.
Oh,
Really
top
favoring
rune. They throw the Mars Arena there, and they do catch Nia inside. 3 heroes surrounding the Void Spirit, and that is the trap
That
around
was
the
nice.
rune. Mini even bottles up the invis. It was very nice, sandwiching in that Void Spirit, making sure that not only does he not get the rune, but he gets taken down to that first arena too.
Yeah, that was not a very easy spear to cast as well. Like, the Void Spear could have gone to any of the Dissimulates there, but waiting patiently for it, pinning him, getting that kill on the mid laner. It looks like Mini is going to have a wonderful game at this rate. Almost keeping up with that Wraith King, who's been pretty much complete free farm. Didn't get any kills top though. Undying got all the kills.
Yeah, Lumiere going for the James Bond. 003 so far. Just 4 more assists to go. We're still
Also
seeing
going
those.
for an armlet first, huh?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Normal Wraith King build that I've watched in North America and South America has been just Radiance, straight Radiance, and maybe he's thinking like against Nyx Assassin, he got that Spike Carapace, might get caught out. Also to go with that armlet first, so you get that early game battle potential, and then maybe going to the Radiance after that. I do think he needs Radiance though.
Jumping the Viper. Mars does miss out on the spear there, but his rotation should allow them to collapse on Vitaly and get that pick off. Nonetheless, as top lane Jupiter's being hounded, Lumiere, Gardic, Elmisho diving a little bit, but Prophet. Oh, the arrow connects,
nice
and the
arrow.
skeletons follow him. So Elmisho's in there with a leap and a starstorm. 1-for-1 trade across the map. Neither team going to get any tower pressure off the back of it, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
back to your
early.
rating. I think I've seen a couple of like armlet into Radiance, and it feels like if the carry player, you know, wants to fight early on, they know that the armlet's going to give them, you know, accelerated farm speed or the ability to fight and get a bit of gold. As Gardic gets caught up in another arena of blood around the top rune spot, throws his tombstone down, trying to start a fight for Nier to make the jump. Arrow coming, doesn't connect, but they'll find the Nyx nonetheless. As Jupiter just pops a quick sprout and runs away. Another good turn of aggression there.
A lot of heroes rotating mid lane for Hokori here. Viper also coming in. That's giving a lot of space to the Monkey. Monkey has pretty much taken over net worth against this Viper now. Yeah, maybe one of the reasons why buying Armlet on this Wraith King is because of the Phoenix, right? Just a little bit of extra attack speed to be able to kill that Supernova. But I really don't think it's his job to be able to kill the Supernova for now, at least. Just the Mirana, the Viper, they should be good enough for the most part, especially with that leap from Mirana.
Yeah, it just more so feels like, you know, you remember the days of like Midas Radiance, where you would buy the Midas to like, kind of accelerate into the Radiance and stuff like that.
Right.
It feels like Armlet does a similar job, but allows you to kind of stand your ground and fight at an early point. We'll see how it does, though, because I feel like I've seen more Wraith Kings lose with Armlet into Radiance than I've seen
Definitely.
the straight Radiance build that you're mentioning.
Yeah, I also prefer the straight Radiance build. Also, going Armlet against Phoenix Sunray might be a bit of a feels bad man as well.
Oh yeah, lots of like uncontrollable damage. Fiery Spirit, Sunray, all the Nyx carapaces and stuns. You're talking about lots of heroes being brought into the mid lane by both teams. Now it's 4 up top here from Incubus, charging forwards on towards
and
that
little
Undying. They catch him, but can they kill him? Pops the wand, Verify ready, Tombstone down, and the Soul Rip to go. They've taken down Mini, and this rotation just hasn't worked out for them. Incubus bailing as quickly as they can. The dive not gonna come to fruition though, or maybe Mirana's thinking about going deep on the Phoenix. Found the strike from Monkey, spots the Undying. Bounty runes are there still, and Mirana, way behind enemy lines, goes for the Leap Starstorm and actually gets the kill. Phoenix stuck around for a little bit too long.
Oh man, it all started with the Mars going with the Rebuke, and the Spear did not drop the arena.
Is bottom lane okay? Nature's Prophet, he came down here for bounty runes. Void Spirit has chased him, makes the jump forward, has another Astral Spirit, and they dissimulate. It looks like Jupiter will be able to turn around with a Sprout. Void Spirit not going to go for the finish.
Yeah, he realizes, yeah, if he sticks around and just goes in for the right clicks, like his spells are still on cooldown, it's just not going to be worth it. The enemy might just TP in and kill him off. He might just trade his life for the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet had like a big magic wand there that he just clicked.
Oh yeah, and raindrops.
Yeah, he just bought that right now. Realizing there's so much magic damage right now from Hokori's side. But yeah, I want to go back to that top play. Like, that was a really good rotation from Incubus to try to make a play on the top tower, but they didn't drop the arena onto the Undying. They thought they could just kill him without it, and they paid the price, because the moment the Tombstone comes down, you just can't fight anymore on the side of Incubus. That's a level 3 Tombstone. Normally we see the maxed out Soul Rip, but he's really prioritizing that team fight.
Yeah, it's like the panel was saying, it's like the Undying definitely drafted. Oh, they've got the catch actually. Void Spirit sniped out. Nature's Wrath with that beautiful Vendetta pickoff potential from Mars Nyx. And Monkey King, of course, lapping up all the bonus gold he gets from it and closing in on Battle Fury. But it's like the panel was saying that Undying, but he banned PL, he banned Gyro, he banned like 3 or 4 different heroes that were good against Tombstone. Gardic knew that he was going to guard his Tombstone at all costs.
Yeah. Right now, Incubus, they just gotta play away from that Tombstone. Every time it gets dropped, just make the retreat and regroup again. That's probably the best way for them to actually take fights. Unless the Nature's Prophet can just snipe it off when they're chasing his team, which is a hard thing to do.
Pretty interesting map spread right now. Like Mars, the Pos 2, is pushing out that top lane, which we usually see the offlaners do. Prophet is farming triangle. And Monkey King is leaping, you know, across that bottom lane, farming through his jungle. Feels like the big reason for this is the bottom tier 1 on the Radiant side is still standing. I would kind of like to see Hokori come down, just secure that tower, make sure they can come in, get that Radiant jungle under control, but you can see the defense now being mounted. Incubus, they want to fight here. Initiation from the Nyx with the Supernova coming. Mirana's there with Gardic focusing into the Supernova, and down goes the egg. They spear the Wraith King up against the arena, but he's got that second life, so they jump and Starstorm, bringing down Nuage and Mar, and Mini, he's been blown up too. The defense wasn't there for everybody. Monkey and Nature's Prophet nowhere to be seen.
They really wanted to make a play onto the Zathian, but that was just the wrong call, right? He's got his ulti ready. His team is probably back there too. The best play for Incubus to do there was just to go mid. As soon as you see all the heroes bottom, just go for the mid tower. Try to open that up instead. Get Hokori to actually react instead of making the reactive move instead. Oh man, that was really tough for Incubus.
It was really rough. And now, this mid-tier one opens up for Hokori. Wraith King is about 1,000 away from Relic. They do Moonlight Shadow under vision there. Incubus have got to know something's going on. Dropping sentries, yeah, try and keep that vision up. But you can see Monkey and Prophet have both split the map, moving pretty wide, leaving that mid lane exposed. Oh, they've got a catch.
The Atos.
There is that Rod of Atos. Viper's there, opening up a pick-off onto Phoenix. And now it's back to maintaining lanes.
They pretty much got through the game without being punished by the fact that they don't really have many disables on the side of Hokori. Now they got that Atos up. Viper pretty much cruised to it. Got a setup for the Mirana arrow now too. Void Spear about to finish his Yules, so another setup as well. And Dire's looking great right now.
Hitting those timings.
Yep. The 3 cores of Incubus are ahead of the other heroes of Hokori other than the Wraith King. They got at least that going for them. They have been able to farm up on pretty much 3 lanes majority of this game. But their team fighting and their choices of when to team fight has just been a little bit off.
Especially when, you know, your Mars didn't go blink, he's now got the Yule Scepter, and both Monkey with Nature's Prophet going for pretty expensive primary items. The Orchid, the Battle Fury take a bit of time. Getting some utilization out of them could prove tricky.
Get to the next items that allow you to fight, right?
Exactly.
So gonna be a little bit of a problem for them there. Mars, I feel like he still also needs like a BKB, because every time he goes in, he might just get Atos into a Viper Strike on top of the Nether Toxin, and he's just gonna melt if he doesn't have that bulwark to make him tanky. And then you're staring down the barrel of this, you know, nuclear reactor of a Radiance hitting critical mass on the Wraith King. He's gonna have it in about 1,000 gold. Insane farm coming out from the Wraith King this game. Yeah, I mean, we questioned the armlet, but it's done work, right? It kept him alive bottom long enough. He took the tower. He's able to sit in front of heroes and not be afraid that they're gonna jump him and he won't be able to fight back with his armlet. So we'll go for a pick off on that mid Viper for now. Moonlight Shadow coming, forcing the sentries and the D-wards, but that's Arena and Supernova as they do bring the Prophet in. Monkey King landing the Boundless Strike, and they get a double kill for Jupiter there. Can they close out the tier 1 though? That's the big question. It looks like they will. The rest of Hokori deciding no buybacks, no fight here. We'll let them have the tower. That's 2 ultis expended. They need that tombstone to be able to fight. So the Undying TPing onto a tier 1, like he has some ideas to drop the tomb, soul rip the Viper, maybe save him, but they were just on top of things, killing that Viper off right away. Instantly focus on the Undying too. The rest of his team was not ready to fight, especially with the Wraith King wanting to finish Radiance first. Oh, Mirana gonna get caught next. Yeah, Yules into the spear. Silence is there. Pops the stick, but doesn't get out without soul burn. Jupiter helping out Mini and Nuage get that kill. So there's something I noticed with some of these Division 2 teams is that once they take these tier 1 towers, they're sometimes unsure of what to do next. And that's sort of like what it looks like with Hokori right now. You know, they got this Wraith King, he wants to finish Radiance, but the rest of his team is kind of scattered around the map, getting picked off. They just lost like 3 heroes while trying to finish this big item, but at least they're grouping up now, and that's what matters. You want to stay tight, you don't want to give away your advantage to your opponent, especially after the tier 1s are all dead. Let's just try to keep applying pressure together as a team.
It felt like one of those situations where the call was made and Mirana was like 5 seconds ahead of the rest of the team. Like, someone said, let's go play into this jungle. Let's go take control of this area.
Yeah.
Sit with the Wraith King a little bit. And Mirana's like, I'm here, I'm ready. Where are you? Where are you guys? Team?
Oh.
Hello, friends? Oh, they miss out the stun there as the Yule Scepters connect. Nier is very close to death, but the soul ripping out Assimilate. Get him out of danger. Up to the high ground he goes. Well, the Nyx, well, he's being left stranded.
Oh,
Destroyed
Benny.
by the Starstorms.
Benny, he TP'd in.
What's up with Benny? Oh,
He's got to go. He's got to go.
Under attack.
Oh, okay. Whew. All right.
the rest of his team's thinking about making a jump. I look at them. Mars, Phoenix, they want to move forward. Arrow doesn't connect on anybody, and the spear forces Wraith King back. A quick Yule's on the Undying now, but the Rod of Atos landing on Prophet. I'll just force them back. Tier 2 is crumbling. There's no more creeps coming in. It looks like Monkey's wanting that backstab, and they go for the Undying. He's an easy pick. Arrow lands on Mars, and the Wraith King loses his first life. Reincarnation into the stuns. Dissimulate coming with the Sun Ray, the Supernova. It's there with the Wukong's command, and Lumiere does not get the armor toggles he needed. Prophet's TPing aggressively too. They want Nier. He's under dire sentries for now. Radiant Sentry is just there in the river, though. Vitali, Yule's up.
Viper.
They've got vision of him. Arrow sliding between them all as Mars grabs up the Arcane Rune. They want to pick off the Viper. That's Vitali gone. Good decision to fight there by Incubus after cutting the wave with Monkey King in a very long, extended bottom tier 2 tower take by Hokori.
And it's still alive too. Exactly. And the problem with that fight was Hokori felt really strong while the tombstone was down. But the moment that it's starting to run out, you gotta get out. Even if the tower doesn't fall, right? They did not have the discipline to just back off that tower. They're like, oh, this tower only has like 200 health left. Let's just finish it off. And then they just stay too long. They didn't have that big team fight spell anymore. And Incubus, the Nyx Assassin, was reviving, and they just took the fight. It was actually a perfect take by perfect defense by Incubus, just baiting out Hokori.
It was spot on. Oh, Nier didn't expect the Prophet to be here. The Orchid silences him up. Void Spirit down, but the Arrow catches Monkey King. Benny, he's in a lot of trouble. They found the Phoenix already, while Jupiter and Benny, they're stuck down here. 1 versus 3. Benny is whacking the Mirana and nearly finds the trade, but it's a double as Wraith King secures it, while they also look towards Ma. But Nyx Assassin, a swift TP home, gets him out there as the Atos had already been expended.
They also got the tier 2 tower top on the side of Incubus. So they got the outpost open there too. Yeah, very nice arrow onto the Monkey. If they just lost the Phoenix for the Voice Spirit, they would have been happy. But now that the position 1 has fallen, not going to feel too good for them. But he's extremely farmed too on the Monkey King. Like, it's not only the Wraith King who's farmed now. He's got the Aghanims complete with that Battle Fury. Once he gets BKB, he's going to be really unstoppable.
He's going to be a big boy.
Yeah, he's one of the better heroes against Wraith King too, because he can drop that Wukong's command on top of the Wraith King. And he will just need to stand his ground and try to fight back, and he's not going to be able to do it.
Not really a fair fight, is it, with so many little monkey statues everywhere?
Yep. It's also getting to the point in the game where the Nyx Assassin is starting to become quite powerful. You got that Spike Carapace against the Viper. You can use it on his Nanotoxin. You can catch him quite easily with that. Void Spirit, same thing. Has a bunch of like uncontrollable damage that he dishes out. And then you got that Vendetta. You can also get onto the Viper, break his corrosive skin, get the burst on him. Viper's actually going for a BKB next item as an offlaner. Not something that you normally see after Atos and Arcane Boots.
Yeah, no Greaves. No kind of aura items. Going for the kind of selfish BKB, but feels necessary.
Got it. Yeah, exactly. He needs it. He really can't stand his ground against his Nyx Assassin if he doesn't have one. If he has a BKB, he can actually just try to kill the Nyx when he goes into the fight. Won't get spiked.
We do have to start thinking about this Roshan sitting in his pit, all lonely, as both teams will be eyeing him up. You know, after those BKB timings, it's BKB plus Aegis. Look to really start to take control of the game. It feels like, though, the Incubus are in a much better position, like Radiant side. They've got all these big team fight ultis. I don't feel like Hokori can like walk into the Roche pit without taking a team fight first.
Definitely. They do have the Tombstone, which can battle up against Incubus, but it's gonna be kind of tough against the Wukong's command here. Oh, I think they see the Mirana.
The smoke
They're
broke.
going for the Undying first.
Moonlight Shadow's there.
Got the High Ground Tomb.
Oh, he did. And there's no vision up on the high ground, so the Tombstone starts to do work. Very tanky Undying, goes to the low ground now, speared up, but still alive. Viper Strike onto the Mars, forcing Mini back as they TP the Prophet in. It's a scrappy fight, but the Radiant have expended a lot of their tools already. The arrow nearly connecting, but the Supernova has been forced. Very disciplined maneuver from Hokori. 2 ultis down. BKB wasted by Mars. Really knowing that they can toe the line and make an additional jump now if only they can find the catch. Sprout onto the Wraith King will stop him in his tracks, but they've got the Mars with the Rod of Atos. Spear back, but caught up inside that Ether Remnant and shredded as Mini will come tumbling down and no buyback on him, but the Monkey King with a Sunray finds the trade on El Micho and Gardic. Prophet with a BKB of his own. He's TP'd aggressively. He tries to TP home, but the right-click attack's not quite enough. They stunned and slowed Lumiere, so the Prophet can escape.
The Wukong's command just didn't come out fast enough, but that was such a massive stun from the Nyx Assassin with his impale there, just ravaging. But without the damage, they were not able to kill more than just the Mirana, Undying, and the Wraith King's reincarnation. They do have an opening now, though, to try and go for a Roshan play or another smite to get the Wraith King killed off. He's only got level 2 reincarnation. It's a 120-second cooldown. They see him. They want him. They want to spike Carapace. They want to try and get a kill on him.
And Monkey has a DD as well.
Oh.
But it looks like with that Sentry Observer, I think Nyx felt something wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
And Wraith King was pinging him saying, let's go. They can hold up against the Nyx
He's got the
Assassin.
BKB too now on the Wraith King, so they probably pinged that out as well. Yeah, I must say, last fight, it looked kind of sketchy from Incubus. I thought they were going to end up fighting into the Tombstone, but they didn't make the right choice and got out of there and try to get a better positioning, and that's what they got to do. They really cannot fight into these high ground Tombstones whatsoever. It doesn't matter if they TP in, they use the Sprout, BKB, hit that tomb, like... It's just going to take too long, and you're going to spend your BKB timings on it. It's just not going to be worth it.
Especially if Undying spends like a soul rip on it, and it's from one hit to full HP again. Try again, boys.
The Undying would like carry the team fight on his own pretty much, just by doing that.
And this is the time that we would love to see sentries placed everywhere by the Radiant, knowing that Moonlight Shadows are coming. They've only got one in their triangle, which they're trying to play into.
You're right. Where are the sentries of Radiant side?
Like, that's what I looked at the bottom lane. I was like, oh, look at all these sentries. But wait, they're dire sentries.
Yeah, I mean those were all meant for the Nyx Assassin. Pesky little Nyx, but yeah, lots of resources being spent by both sides thanks to these Invis heroes.
Pesky invisible heroes. And it's not just the big AoE team fight from Incubus that's scary, right? It's the global presence of Nyx Invis, the tree jumping, the canopy hopping from that Benny Monkey King, and the Prophet TPing around.
Yeah. Exactly. And the Nyx is actually going for an Aghanims in this game. This is not something I normally see on Nyx, actually. But more of like a, sit there, chill, let them run into you, you're going to spam your skills kind of build. I think I would have preferred the Aghanim Shard on this Nyx and more of like a magic-oriented build, so he can just run around, poke at heroes, and then wait for the Nature's Prophet to TP in and get pickoffs. Because that's what Hokori is doing. Hokori's just grouping up right now, and they just kind of want to keep them split up on the map.
Yeah, play that 5-man. Okay. Is it triple BKB time? Not quite. You mentioned the Wraith King has one. Void Spirit joins him. And Viper looks like he's only 1,000 gold away from it. So a couple of minutes now until the triple BKB threat is there from Hokori. So much space and time, though, for the Monkey King to also gather up enough money for his own BKB. And there is that angst you've been talking about on the Nyx Assassin. Completed as he shoves out just a half a wave bottom. Oh, the Battle of the Ages. Nature's Prophet Treants against Roshan.
Radiant's
Roshan wins.
under attack.
You can feel both teams how tentative they are, though. It's like, we kind of want to go in Roche, but we also kind of want you to run at us so we can fight on our high ground. Like, would you mind just crossing the river for us? The standoff.
The patience. Hokori, though. They're running in.
They spot that Wraith King, but Nyx Assassin gives away his position for a second, though. Wukong's is a really good position, and they do catch the Undying. Dead for 45, and the Void Spirit follows him. Deep underground, 6 feet under, 2 heroes from Hokori. This is allowed now Roshan to be opened up for Incubus.
That's all they needed. They just needed this Undying to be dead, which is, you know, kind of weird, but yeah. Now that he's dead, they're just gonna take this free Roshan, no more Tombstone, and there's nothing that Hokori can do about this. And with the Aegis on the Monkey, finishing his BKB as well. Whoa, Mirana?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just got absolutely melted by those statues in there.
He really did. And yeah, that's BKB Aegis Monkey King now, with Ag's Battle Fury. That is scary. A potent hero to try and face against. He's also got a Paladin sword there to shift in.
Alright, hear me out, Gary. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
We got a Rapier in game 1 of this DPC so far. I'm sensing a Rapier in this game as well. How about you?
Is Wraith King buying it?
I think so. I think it's going to end up being a Wraith King Rapier kind of game.
So what he finishes Abyssal, gets a Rapier.
Maybe not after Abyssal. I think he will get AC first, and then after that he might have to go like a Rapier.
Sell his armor. Oh, they've smoked and moved into mid. Arena of Blood there for 2 kills. Very quickly done by Incubus.
Assuming Incubus don't end this game before he can get there. Because like right now, they're just splitting up on the map on Hokori, and they just keep getting caught out. They're just not sure what to do against this Aegis Monkey King.
Yeah, they're just gathering their forces. Taking control of the Dire Triangle. Trying to get onto that tier 2 mid lane. Also taking outpost top lane. Gets it just in time.
Oh, he got in time, yeah. At least they split the outpost there.
Just
I'm dying,
about.
trying to get some runes.
Yeah, trying. Okay. Well, he got one. He got one. Dead for 45 seconds, though. And this is going to mean the map gets incredibly constricted here for Hokori. Map's going to get pretty dark as well. No real vision out on the map for the Dire team whatsoever. Arrow actually hits the Phoenix all the way in the back. Carapacing the Void Spirit and jumping with the Orchid Silence into the stun of the Spear. That is beautifully done. The Nyx Assassin Carapaced walked into an Ether Remnant, and that just allows the jump from the rest of his team. Now it's high ground time.
So good. Nyx has found so much value. Oh, look at that stun range.
Oh my god. It just keeps on going. Stuns all the way down.
Yeah. And they could just sit up here in this triangle area and just let the Nature's Prophet push out all the lanes. Like, again, this NP is also going to be a carry, right? So...
Oh, he is.
They want to fight out the base, and they're going to get it.
They do get that good arena. Wraith King's first live dispatched with quickly, and they're going to Wukong's command for this, stunning him up, and the Wraith King just about enough. Lumiere with the armor toggles, though, gets himself to the high ground, but he's still being burnt alive. The Supernova, beautifully placed, and Nuage on a mega kill streak, diving forward, wants Vitali, and the Supernova Sunray comes through as Incubus, looking to tie things up in this series 1-1. That tier 3 tower is going to come crumbling down, and with 5 heroes alive, it is a long stretch to see what Hokori can do to actually defend their base. Pretty simple tier 3 and barracks take, and it looks like they're going to head for tier 4s. And Wraith King's dead for 40 seconds.
Yep, they need the Tombstone, but that's also dead too.
Wraith King wishes he'd sold his Quelling Blade before dying. He's 30 gold away from buyback, but they're losing their base at such a drastic rate. Nia has to jump and BKB to try and get anything he can, but again, it's the Sunray burning them to a crisp. And Nuage,
Oh, he
he's
got the
helped out
buyback.
Benny here. They've also got the Sprout, the buybacks come. Yeah, Lumiere and Gardic now left to their own devices. They're brought back again. The Mirana arriving, but Wraith King, he's in the midst of them all. 1 versus 5 it feels like here, but he'll fall for the first time. Nyx long range with the stuns and the Boundless Strike dodged by the BKB. Lumiere on that Phoenix gets the damage done, but he's being ripped to shreds. The Monkey and the Mars chasing him down, and Wraith King has been used up. Spear not coming, it's still on cooldown, so they turn and they whack into Mars. Lumiere's still alive and pushing damage forward. Benny has Wukonged in the enemy base, but the TP stopped. Arrows there from Mirana, now he's being burnt by the Ratty. Aegis gone, Jupiter being hit and crit by the Wraith King. Oh, his reincarnation's back up in 5 seconds time as well. Mirana being dealt with by the Sunray and the Nyx Assassin, but Benny's the one who's being cleaved in twain. Lumiere's gonna find him. This buyback from the Wraith King coming up just in time. It's defended the base. Hokori is still in the game. They're still alive, and they're doing it. Ma, oh, gets the kill, but it's only the reincarnation.
And he's good, and they managed to hold. I mean, that looked like it was going to be GG. Yeah, Void Spirit bought just enough time for the Wraith King to get gold to be able to buy back, take that engagement. You can see the Wraith King is still very strong as long as he's got a team behind him.
Yeah, Wraith King's just like, guys, 1 stun is all I need. Give me 1 spell and I'll kill them all.
Yeah, Monkey now going to be dead for 50 seconds. They're going to walk straight up into this high ground, but I'm not so sure if they're going to be able to kill this. Slow this down. Actually, he doesn't even have a TP. Wait, he's going for the Undying.
Mars with a DD is yeah, between tier 1 and tier 2 mid lane, or where they used to be. Yeah. Finds the kill on Undying. And that mid lane push now has to come to a stop.
They realize NP, Nyx, they're alive soon. They don't have the Undying anymore without the Tombstone. Like, you see how much Tombstone matters in all these fights. And the Undying being dead for 70 seconds. You're just gonna have to respect that and back off. Has an Abyssal
Wraith
now.
King has he's ignored the cries for Rapier. He's got the Abyssal.
Yeah, maybe next item. Oh no, going for Silver Edge. Come on, Lumiere, you got this. Do it.
So Dire have a glyph in 1 minute 40. Is that enough time? Doesn't look like it. I was just wondering, could Radiant run down mid and just end the game?
No, they don't want to do that. That's the last thing you want to do right now. Because as soon as they get inside the base, they see all your heroes, right? Because you have vision of everything. So the Phoenix and Nyx Assassin, they'll know the positioning of those, and they might just jump them very easily. And then if you lose one more fight here, this game is becoming extremely hard. So you want to take these fights outside the base. That's what's been working out for Incubus. And I think they're patient enough to continue to do that.
So that bottom lane tier 1, tier 2, pretty prime real estate right now. On that bottom lane of the Dire side for the Radiant to take, because we know it. There's Dire Triangle. Radiant do love to play from here. They're coming, smoking, aggressively trying to retake that zone that we were just talking about. And they've got the Monkey King. He's been stunned, but they've jumped the Nyx. The Spike Carapace comes in time, and that Sunray, it is substantial damage. Forces the Void Spirit to dive in, dip out. Prophet TP's in with the BKB, clears up the Tombstone and that Observer Ward, forcing BKB out of the Viper as well as the Nyx stun misses, but he burrows in, forcing out the Mars ulti, spearing Miranda to the side, and the Supernova perfectly placed here. Wraith King's doing a good amount of damage though, finds the kill on Mars, Nyx Assassin, but again he's been left alone, isolated, cold and alone. He's outside in the snowy winters, and he can't survive without the help of his team. Viper's used up, and he'll come falling down as he hits the ground with a thud. It is a 5-man wipe, and GG is called.
Oh, they got impatient on the side of Hokori. They did not play towards their vision or bait in Incubus, and they sort of just threw their 5 bodies, hoping for a nice pick-off, ran into Nyx Assassin, got Spike Carapace, and that's all she wrote.
This series is getting super, super exciting though, isn't it? Now 1-1, tied up between these two teams. You know, the panel was saying, I remember Bowie saying it's too difficult to call between these two squads. Like maybe in the closed qualifiers, the group stage, Incubus looked a bit better than Hokori did, but judging by